so today I want to talk to you about the top mistakes people make when trying to grow a virtual assistant agency. And so we could just cut straight to the point. One of the top reasons why this happens is because a lot of VA agency owners think that they need to be doing all the work. And the way that you grow a VA agency is that you don't do the work. You're going to be hiring virtual assistants to do all the client work. This requires a shift in your mindset. So, mistake number one, you're acting like a freelancer and not a CEO. You haven't outsourced these tasks to a virtual assistant. Things like client work, things like setting up automations, administrative tasks, those need to go to a VA. You're stuck working in the business and not on the business. So from day one, you want to start building SOPs, which are standard operating procedures. You want to create checklists and guides to help virtual assistants that you hire know what to do and how to do it well. Mistake number two is you're trying to offer everything to everybody. So you don't have a niche. You're just like, okay, the client needs help with automation, we're going to do that. The client needs help with sales, appointment setting, social media, web design. When you just get started, it's better to focus on a clear set of service offerings. What's going to set you apart from everyone else? Also, you want to focus on specific niches. Like, for example, real estate, health and wellness, doctor's offices, gyms, fitness centers. Start out with a clear niche because it's going to be easier for you to sell your services to a very specific type of client. You'll know how to do the marketing, you'll easily know how to sell, and you can build out services specifically for that niche. Now, this doesn't mean that down the line that you can't start helping other types of businesses. You absolutely can, and you can have multiple industries that you help. But in the beginning, you want to have at least 2 to 3 specific core industries that you're going to target. Another mistake that many people make is they don't set up the systems. It's so important that from day one, you have a system for client onboarding, team onboarding. When you hire a virtual assistant, you need to have a process to hire, screen, interview, and vet them. Once they actually sign the contract to work with you and your agency, you also want to have a training system in place so that you can train VAs on your tools. And you also want to set them up for success when you place them in a client's business. Another mistake a lot of people make is they only rely on referrals, or they just wait for people to find them. You absolutely do not want to do this. You need to be going out there, you need to be making relationships, you need to be selling, you need to be attending events, you need to be putting content out, you need to be going out there and finding the business. You also need to have a lead generation plan in place. Your number one job as a VA agency owner is to sell. In fact, the main skill you need to master is your sales skills. You need to sell, you need to know how to pitch, you need to understand how to sell your value proposition, what makes you different than other VA agencies, or why should they hire your virtual assistant agency over just trying to go find their own virtual assistant on their own, right? It's going to be a headache to manage them, and that's one of the selling points that you want to pitch in your discovery call. That needs to be mastered because everything else, you can figure it out. You can do that over time. So you don't have a real business unless you're making money and you have paying clients. This is super important. And what I also see people doing in the beginner stage is they get so caught up in the administrative setup of everything, right? You need something really simple to get started. You just need a simple website and you need a simple way to accept payment from clients. And you need to have a contract. The basics just need to be in place for you to make money and start getting clients. Once you have that client, now you can match them with a VA. Now, I'm not telling you not to try to set things up, but what I see happen is people sometimes, not all the time, but people kind of become obsessed with, making sure they have everything set up completely. And then once that's done, then they can get started. And I'm here to tell you, no, you're gonna be building your systems over time, right? So the first system you're gonna build is you want to have your website, you want to have your pricing, you need to have clearly defined pricing and what they're going to get. The second system is your client onboarding system. So once you do a discovery call and you pitch your services, then you have to have a good, smooth onboarding system so you can vet virtual assistants and match them to the clients. You want to make sure that the VAs are qualified. Now, over time, as you've been doing, you do this over the next couple of months, you can start building out your team onboarding system, other project management systems that you're going to use to make sure you have a check-in process with the virtual assistant and the client. These are going to take time, and that's okay. And then the other thing is you will be refining your systems over time, right? So you may find new other ways to do things. You may find that you can automate certain things. And so you're constantly going to be in a continuous improvement cycle, right? So you're going to always be updating and being agile, always being reactive to change, right? So when new things come up, new technologies, there may be some AI technologies you're going to be using in the future. There could be stuff that we don't even have right now. So you don't have to have everything perfectly set up. You just want to have the basics. And the number one thing is just have a professional, simple website. And your website doesn't have to have a bunch of pages. You can literally just have one page for your website. And on one page, they know what you do, who you help, and how they can work with you. And they just have to click a button to set up a sales call with you. That is super important because that's how you make money. Now, here's the deal. If you need help with starting or growing your virtual assistant agency, I actually have a training where I help you with this entire process. I go through all the steps you need to get this started and to grow and scale this type of business. Go ahead and sign up for that training. And also make sure you subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.